Okay, this is the wrap-up for the live market open for Wednesday, May 18th. Lots going on in the markets. The US dollar is stronger. We had 3 Fed officials talking about rate hikes. The US dollar was hesitant because it has been burnt by Yellen so many times, but finally we have some reaction. The US dollar is stronger across the board. It's stronger. The one that is resisting quite nicely is the British pound, thanks to more favorable opinion polls regarding a higher chance of the UK to stay in the European Union. Oil prices remain high, WTI at $48. Lots of figures coming out yesterday. Inflation in the UK missed. It had a temporary impact on the pound, but the pound, as I mentioned, shows resilience. Inflation more or less as expected. Housing figures in the US leaning higher, also industrial output. The Kiwi, on one hand, the milk prices were higher, but the big fall in the PPI figures and the producer price index hurt the Kiwi. Japanese GDP beat. This did not help the Japanese yen in the wake of this US dollar strength, but the Aussie certainly reacted to a miss on wages. Let's look at the charts in this wrap-up. So we have euro dollar leaning to the downside, moving out of the very narrow range that it suffered, getting closer to the next line of support. 112.62 is the current level, 112.50, 112.20 are lines of support. Resistance at 113.35 and 114.60. Cable, pound dollar at 144.40, a bit lower against the US dollar, but not, as I mentioned, showing its strength. 145.10 is resistance, 143.50 is support. Yet another attempt for dollar yen to move above resistance, 109.50. Next level of resistance, 110. Support, 108.40. Board at 107.65. Canadian dollar. In comparison to the strength of oil prices, the Canadian dollar is lagging behind, falling against the US dollar. As we speak, it's getting closer to strong resistance at 130. It's followed by 130.80 and 131.70. Support at 127.50. Aussie dollar remains the weakest link, currently 72.70. Support at 72.40, followed by 71.60. Resistance 73.75. Kiwi dollar also following through with lots of weakness. 67.70 is the current level. Resistance at 68.40. Support at 67.20. Okay, we did have a special preview for the FOMC, but let's talk about the events for today quickly. UK employment report. Watch out for wages and for erratic movements. Remember that politics remain most important mover for the British pound. Final CPI in the Eurozone expected to be downgraded. Okay, this could have a small impact on the euro. It's not the preliminary release. At 2:30 we have oil inventories. It's not only crude, it's also distillates, gasoline, and the level of production. Okay, so that's important, of course, for the Canadian dollar and for the whole market mood. Perhaps today a bit less than in other weeks. Remember, this is a weekly publication. Today, impact could be smaller because of the Fed meeting minutes. The US dollar did strengthen towards the minutes on hawkish talk. My bias is that we'll have dovishness from the Fed. I may be right, I may be wrong. Anyway, this document, the minutes come out at 6 GMT, and we'll have initial reaction at the US session, a further reaction, a second one at the Tokyo one, and then also tomorrow morning. We'll see. The biggest question is to hike or not to hike in June. The chances, despite rising, remain quite low. I think if there's even, the Fed likes having excuses not to raise rates, and it has the Brexit referendum 1 week after that June meeting. But well, US data has been improving. That supports a hike. And we can see the full preview. We did a full preview beforehand. And last but not least, Australian jobs report at 1:30 GMT. A smaller rise in jobs is expected. The Aussie dollar remains sensitive. Of course, if data beats, this could support the Aussie, but any small miss or just meeting expectations could hurt the currency of the land down under. Okay, so that's the wrap up for today. Before we head off, yeah, I see we don't have any more questions. Anyway, as mentioned that talked yesterday with Mauricio about the show, trying to make, as always, all the improvements we can. Any feedback from you guys is always welcome. Yeah, so that's it. So that's the show for today. Wish everybody a safe and successful day at the markets, and we'll be here tomorrow. So thank you and bye-bye.